You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Tech for Techs Tech Talk. This is episode 12, website tips and tricks. If you have any thoughts or questions about the topic, please feel free to comment in the comment section. If you are watching from Facebook, or at least the Facebook group, when you put something in the chat, it will come up and say your name is called Facebook user on the live. But if you want your name to actually appear, please click the link in the description in the Facebook group, which I am pasting in now, and that will allow Facebook to post your information online. Otherwise, you will be known as Facebook user. We are joined today by Jennifer Griffiths, who is the owner of Tech for Techs, Cormac O'Donoghue, who is the owner of Crosshaven Computers in Ireland, and we've also got Marion Rhodes, who is the owner of Tech Girl in Kent. So, Jennifer, if you would like to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, what you do, and let us know if you've got any tips, advice, or stories today.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny. I am the owner of Tech for Techs. Basically, I'm more behind the scenes in production. You've seen my intro for the tech show just now. So that would be me. I work behind the scenes in video editing on all of our videos. They are my productions. So if you like those, I'm glad. And that's about all.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Next up, we have Cormac. Have you got any advice or stories? And let us know how you're doing today and what you, actually do.
What do? I do magic, man. I do magic. I'm Cormac. Yeah, I run a business here in Ireland. Actually, the best repair person in Ireland, and also we sell the best refurbished laptops, and in general, just outstanding people over here. No, it's all good. It's all good. We're still in lockdown over here, I suppose, but we're allowed to drive around. We're allowed to operate away. We can't operate inside the business, obviously, but we can operate away. So, that's a different lockdown to a lot of the people who have to stay within the 5K, My tip of the week actually will be something I can't pronounce. You'll probably know it. It's a new booking system we've been playing around with. Calendy, Calendy. Do you know where it's handy now is that it's cheap. I think it could be free for one user, and it's around £8 a month for two users. But we're only taking bookings for repairs really on a Monday now at this stage. And what we do is we just send the customer the link, and they can pick a time, 15-minute slot during the day that day where they can drop it off to Neve. And then when they're coming to pick it up, then we just send another slot so they can actually see what time suits them, and it cuts down on telephone calls. Obviously, telephone calls are very important to keep a personal approach to them, but it's way easier to say, rather than you ring them and say what time suits you, let them pick a time that suits you. So, Phil, you might put that in the link. Do we have links, show notes, something like that? I'll post it in the show notes group. Oh, the last one I must post in the Facebook group as well. I don't know if it discussed this on here already, or I think we did. And I'll post a picture there because I'm going to put it up on my social media. With all our refurb laptops, we put in 2 packets of sweets and a little business cards and thank you for supporting local business. Again, that people are just blown away by that little tiny thing because everyone wants to support local business at the moment. And that's how you take on the big shops quite easy. It's people are ringing us up and saying, hey, we saw you doing laptops. We want to support local business rather than going to one of the bigger stores. It's amazing the amount of people who are ringing with that just opening sentence. So then you're throwing something nice into the box for them as well. So that's a nice little tip there, which I might have even got from this show. I don't know. All right.
Okay, cheers for that call, Matt. We'll definitely put those notes in obviously the description or whatever afterwards, comments area. A few people are saying that they're having issues. Call Me was frozen at some point. I'm not seeing the problem at this end. So please, obviously, let us know if you are having issues. But from what I can see, everything's running okay at our end. Richard just says he's refreshed the page and it seems to be looking good, and Alison saying it's fine as well. So yeah, hi guys as well, all the people who have logged in. So hello Facebook user again if you're in the
Hello, Mrs. C.
Yeah, make sure if you're in the Tech for Text group, you actually click on that link. That way your name will be displayed. Also, hi Richard Overfield, and Alison Cook says she likes the intro as well. Hi Peter, and hello Facebook user, and Richard. We've got quite a few people saying hi anyway, so I think we get the idea. But yeah, let's move on. Well, actually, before we move on, something for you, Cormac. Which day of the week do chickens hate the most?
Oh Jesus, that's a Saturday, is it?
No, Friday.
Oh Jesus.
Worst jokes ever.
This is where we lost our viewers there, but still, go on.
That was a dad joke if I ever heard one.
Yeah, so the bad jokes, but there's only so many jokes you can find about chickens, and which don't involve crossing a road, as well as Ireland and a chicken together. Just there's not that much.
It's great to be known. It's literally great to be known as that. It's still known around here. I should have been known on Facebook for that, and the people ranting and raving and complaining anyway.
For real.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. Okay. So again, guys, if you are wanting to comment, feel free to comment in the description as usual. But if you want your name to be shown, make sure you click the link I shared. I'll reshare it again. That will allow Facebook to publish your name as well as your profile picture on the live stream. Right. Next up, we have got Marianne. So Marianne, if you would like to introduce yourself, tell us what you do, who you are, where you work, and give us some sort of tip or story advice.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm Marianne, or a lot of people like to call me Maz, and I run Tech Girl UK, which is just me on my own working from home. I do pretty much repairs, support, consultancy, but mainly seem to be doing websites within the lockdown. It seems to be my main source of business income at the moment. My tip for this evening is, so TikTok, everyone's heard of it. And I want to suggest that TikTok is a brilliant, brilliant form of advertising. It's not just funny cat videos. It's not just people dancing. There is actually a lot of tech information on there. And one thing that I learned from TikTok recently, and it has become a staple website for me to use when doing web design, is tinyjpg.com. And it's just an optimization for images. So you upload all your images to it, and then you can re-download them all optimized. And it's so quick, easy, simple to use, brilliant interface. And I would highly recommend it if you're doing web design or uploading a lot of pictures to the web. So there you go.
Well, that's a pretty good tip you've got us right out the gate for advice on the websites, that's for sure.
Sorry, Phil, can I come in there, Marianne? I love what you're saying about TikTok. I think we've been using it on our social media for a while, but where it's very, very handy as well is that, as you said, it's a great platform. It has great tools, but We're putting up stuff on TikTok, probably not reaching many people. But what I'm doing is downloading the videos then, and then uploading them to Instagram or Facebook with the music or with whatever editing you need done in it. So it's great. Like I probably not getting much of a reach on TikTok, but we are once we download the videos and share them on other social media platforms, because you have all the music, you have everything going. It's TikTok is just fabulous for that.
It is. I agree. I mean, I joined TikTok probably like most people when the first lockdown came in the UK, and it was just a way to pass a bit of time and just try and kind of cheer myself up, really. But it's fast becoming for me just a way of gaining more information about tech. There's some brilliant people that I follow on there, and yes, it is an absolutely excellent way of advertising. I think obviously social media is so big these days, and I think a lot of companies are seeing that there is a really big opportunity there for marketing on TikTok. It's just getting that content right, and I think once you get enough of following, or even dare I say it, a viral video, then you've got yourself a really good following. It's just getting that one video, I think, that you need to go viral, and then you'll catch the right people. So it's finding something that's maybe a little bit different, a bit shocking, maybe something like that might gain a bit more attention, and tagging it correctly as well, I think is a really good point, is making sure that you've got the right hashtags in there.
What I found as well is that, like, the stuff that is going viral on TikTok, like the Facebook users who you could be targeting, because they're an older crowd for marketing, okay, is like they're a couple of weeks behind whatever's gone viral. So if you launch that up on your Facebook feed, you're 2 or 3 weeks before, whereas ahead of it, as when you're watching TikTok, you're probably seeing it all. So I'm actually dying to see some of your TikToks. Actually, that'd be interesting then. Can you dance?
It's definitely something we need to look at. We've not really done anything with TikTok, have we yet, Jen?
Not yet. It's good to hear some positive feedback on TikTok. It seems like all I was hearing was bad press about it. So it's really good to hear something positive.
Yeah, that's true. It has had a few ups and downs. Right. Okay, so let me get on with my tip or news or whatever you want to do. The news today is basically NVIDIA. Again, it's one of them things, no graphics cards around and so forth. Probably getting fed up of me saying it, and fed up of it in the news, and fed up of not being able to buy any. Apparently, they're going to be releasing the 3060 very soon. I think it might be the 22nd or the 24th of this month. It's due out, something along that line. But what they're going to do is reduce what's called the hash rate on the graphics card. This is basically what stops miners, or will stop miners, people who are obviously doing Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that. It's going to actually reduce the amount they can actually mine at a time. So normally it'd probably be 60 hash rate, and they're going to halve it down to possibly 30 or even lower down to 20. Which is going to make less miners interested in buying it, which hopefully will mean there'll be more on the market. But again, you'll probably find someone will come out and modify the driver, because it looks like that's what it's going to be, what controls it, and they'll modify the driver and then it'll work just as it probably should have done in the first place anyway. So I'm not sure if that is a real fix or not. And in all honesty, does NVIDIA really want to sell less graphics cards? Do they really care who they're selling them to? All they want is, well, a few pennies in the pocket. And obviously down to that subject as well, I've had issues getting hold of a graphics card, especially struggled the last few days, got promised from distributors, had issues ordering them online and so forth at different places. I'd just like to say thank you to the guys at CMS Distribution, which came to my aid earlier today and were able to supply me with exactly what I needed. So thank you to Hits, Lewis and JP for the help, and that's obviously the guys at CMS Distribution. I'd make sure you have a look at their website if you haven't done already. Right, before we go any further, if you have any questions, please obviously ask below. Any comments, anything you want to say. Obviously, I'm not too bothered about what you had for your lunch, but if you have got anything to say, please put it in the comment section. If you're using the Facebook group, that's the Tech for Tech's Facebook group, please click the link I've put in the chat a few times. This will allow you to show your name when you comment. Otherwise, you will be called Facebook user, and I will see your name as Facebook user. Right, so on to today's topic, which is website tips and tricks, or do's and don'ts, however you want to put it. I think the first thing I'd like to mention in that is basically the main thing, what a customer wants when they interact with your website, they sort of expect excellent user experience. So as long as you sort of get that bit right, you're on the right track. But I'm going to pass you off to the other guys in the chat who are going to obviously tell you their experiences, what they think works. I think Marianne does this pretty much a full-time job of creating websites, so hopefully she's got some good tips as well in there. And I think Cormac's in the process of updating his website as well. So what I'm going to do is go over to Cormac first. And see if he's got any advice about websites or what he's concentrating on and so forth.
First of all, thanks to Marianne for coming on, because I'd be very interested to listen to advice. I'm not an expert, so my first tip really would be that if you have the money, probably get an expert on these things. What I will say is, no, Phil, I have to update my site. I'm building another site just to sell laptops. When I started this business a few years back, obviously I didn't have money starting it. What I done, and my website is looking dated, but it's actually not the platform, it's me. I don't have a designer so I used Tech Site Builder. Phil, you might know that. Tech Site Builder is Matthew Rodella's. He had a podcast as well there before, and it's one designed especially for computer shops and stuff around the place, and that let me build my own website on WordPress, which was extremely handy at the time. I didn't have the money for a designer, so it was great, and it also let me do my own SEO and stuff in the background, so I could manage it and do whatever I needed to do. And it's great. So it's great. I would say one of the tips that I would say is, whether you're doing, if you do give out your website to do for somebody else to do for you, make sure you have access to it so you can put up your stuff whenever you need it. That's because we consult with businesses as well, and we'll say, yeah, we'll see if we'll get a website designer in. But you need to be able to control your own website by putting up your own products and stuff. So I was using Tech Site Builder away. Now, for my new website, I went over to Squarespace because I just love the look of Squarespace. I really, really do. And I wanted to get designers in, but I wanted full control. So I wanted a fairly easy interface to use myself. And I just didn't have time to go back and forth with website designers. And there was no one's work that I really stood out. So I really have a principle that I try to do, because we do Facebook pages for people as well. I do a principle of get it up and get it out there, and then you can change it from there. And with the website that I'm building now on Squarespace, I needed to get it done because I needed it up on the servers, the Google servers. I needed to do what I needed to do with Google Webmaster Tools, I think it's called, to try to push it. Because once it hits the servers, it'll take a couple of months to get up to page 1, no matter what SEO you do, I think, from what I gathered anyway, no matter what SEO you do. So I was trying to get a few people involved with me, and people were saying, oh yeah, we'll do it, but we're busy, or we'll get around to doing it. So in the end, I just said, look, I'm putting it up. So I have put it up. Now, I found Squarespace extremely easy to use, and I found it, so I designed it and I've put it up. But this is where I went, right, it looks okay to my eyes. It won't look great to a designer eyes. I also only done 4 pages: about, contact, shop, and whatever the other one is, the main page, yeah. But what I loved about Squarespace was you could make a shop really easy. I only done 4 pages because I didn't want people don't go to many pages on a website. Now, other people will explain about blogs and all that for SEO. I don't. I know it works for SEO, but I really someone will have to explain blogs to me because I've never read a blog on anyone's website in my life. But it's good for SEO. But I just don't understand it, that bit of it. But I haven't got around to doing that. Maybe I'll have to do a blog for SEO. But the thing about it is that I step back and I'm after getting a graphics designer in. And I'm after getting someone who's good with the English because my English writing isn't the best, you know. I just don't. I know myself it doesn't look professional, so I'm going to get Dave in to do that. And Maria is a graphic designer, so I kind of had to play a little game with them. I showed Maria how Squarespace works, and then I kind of nearly deliberately put up something bad, you know, because she nearly has OCD when it comes to graphic design. And I went, well, it's up there now. We're going to have to change it at some stage. So she said, no, we need to change it now. Like, I was like, well, look there, I sent you a link for how to change it. So I'm hoping she'll do some magic with it now. I also told her I set her up deliberately to do that, you know. But that's the key thing that I have found. You need to have control of your own website, you know. You have to, obviously, we won't even talk, you know, has to be mobile responsive and mobile friendly. But so far, that's what I'm doing. I didn't have $5,000 to spend with someone on a website, and I didn't really particularly want to spend $5,000 with someone on a website. It depends what sort of money, what sort of scale. The only other thing I will say is websites are very time consuming. And this is what I tell people when we're going into their businesses, and we'll say, right, there's only a certain amount of things website designers can do. You will have to get the content. You'll have to get pictures of your products to a degree. And they can be, so you'll have to weigh up the cost of you doing it yourself. And we're talking there beforehand that, like Jen saying, she has a cut-off time at night to work, whereas I'd be still working on my website at night. And you know what? You get tired from it all at some stage. So yeah, I'm no expert, but that's what I know, you know.
In researching tonight for the show, I decided to objectively just Google the word computer, okay, and see what kind of results that I got on websites for computer. And I have decided that what I prefer and would probably choose to shop with you is if you had a clean and easy to navigate website where I can go to where I want to go to on the fly. If I want to find out about your services, it's in a little block right here. If I want to know about your TOS, it's here. I mean, keep it simple. Opening hours and contact details, a must right there for me. One of the most impressive computer websites is in our area that I came across. I'm going to give a shout out to the guys at Tech CPR for impressing me today with their web design. It was very user friendly. And I told Phil, I said, they're one-upping us on website. So, yeah, I was really impressed with the ease of use and finding out just what you offer at the times and so forth. What put me off with websites today is it takes more than 5 minutes to find what I'm looking for. You should be able to type in the search, if they have one, the product you're looking for, and it come up with a list, and it should be in that list. And there's a few distributors that I'm not going to mention. They know who they are, that have hideous search engines on their website, and it puts me off. Another thing is pop-ups. Oh, we're going to use cookies. Do you accept these cookies and things like that? I don't want to see the pop-up. that puts me off. I just don't like it. Ads, banners, and things like that scrolling across. The COVID notice, we all know COVID's going on. Take it down. I even saw one that was doing news stories on their website, and I thought, you're not the press. If you want to do news stories, put a blog to the side. People can click on the blog. The landing place needs to be clean. You have to keep it clean and simple. When people don't have a lot of stock, they have less stock than not, it puts you off. You're thinking, well, why bother even telling us about it if you don't have that stock in? So that was just a few things that really got to me. Another one I saw had 5 different links to their terms of services. I kid you not. There was terms of conditions, there was terms of repair, terms of payment, and terms of returns, and even terms on how to use their website.
Yeah, that's what puts
I
you
mean,
off.
come on. I wouldn't even go in the store if you're going to be, there's rules for that. There's probably a rule on how to open their door. I mean, really. So be a friendly, I would say a friendly, approachable type. I saw people that had their dogs and cats and everything like that on it. I don't like to get too personal and everything. Maybe one simple picture would be enough, not your kids' homework and stuff like that. Save that for your desk and stuff. But a clean user face, that I would say is probably the most important thing to go with. Clean, simple, effective, and let me get to where I need to be in less time. Because when I get to where I'm going, I'm more likely to spend with you.
I think there's some really good points there. I think both Cormac and Jenny have made like some really the main points really. I think the biggest one that I have to say is KISS. Everyone's heard that. Keep it simple, stupid. Honestly, for websites, that's what it comes down to. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm someone with information. I think the stats say that within 5:59 seconds or something, around 6 seconds, someone does actually read the content, the written content. So you've got 6 seconds of written content to actually, impress that person. And also people gauge their opinion within 2 milliseconds, I think it was, 50 milliseconds, a person gauges their opinion on the look of a website, whether they're going to stay on that website or not. So I think bombarding your potential customers with information is the worst thing that you want to do. My main thing is consistency, is through the website, keeping it consistent. And this is everything from the style of the information, the pictures, the colors, the text, the font, the sizing, everything. It's consistency is key, I think. Otherwise, you get a really disjointed feel for the user. Cormac said a really important thing: optimization, responsive websites. I think 63% of people now make their purchases using a mobile device, and so your website needs to be optimized for mobiles and for obviously tablets as well. But yeah, I think that they, for me, are the main things that I look at when I'm starting to build a website. So many people are doing it themselves these days, and I think there is so many platforms out there to be able to do that, to make it easier and more accessible for people who can't afford a web designer, And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it yourself, but yes, it is a time factor. I know how long I spend on a website for a client sometimes can be anywhere from 5 hours to, a couple of weeks, depending on how big the website is, so it's a time factor. But yeah, there was another point that Cormac, you were saying about 4 pages on your website. And I think a lot of people think that you've got to have loads and loads of pages, and I don't think that's true. I personally am a massive fan of what I like to call a one-page website, which is literally, I mean, obviously, if you're a business that's selling stock, it's probably not the solution for you. But if you're a small business like myself, I don't have stock. I like a one-page website where it's literally everything's on one page. It looks like a full website, but actually it's not, and it's not. There's not too much there, and it's consistent all the way through, and it's just one easy scroll down a page without having to click, unless they want further information.
Absolutely, you got me.
Yeah, I think a load of people are just like, oh yeah, we need a page for this, a page for that. I think the idea of having a website which is a massive kind of like spidergram of pages going from this page to this page to this page. And I think that, having one page which looks as if it's a kind of a bigger website, but is actually all on one page, is a brilliant way. And little tip from myself is that actually for me, it works out. I charge my customers less for doing one of those websites than one of the big websites, so a little bit of a tip there from me. But yeah.
No, that's very good. That's very good altogether about the one page, as in, yeah, right, as Jen was saying as well. People are lost. How many times do you go to other pages? Now, another thing, another tip there with the one I'm building as well, and I say most people in the tech world will know this one already. But what I always say to my clients as well is that, like, if you're searching for your website, make sure you go into incognito mode or something, because Google will just throw you back what you want to see. So they're putting in what their search terms, and it's coming up with them straight away. And they're going, look, that person done a great job with my website. You're kind of going, no, maybe search from a different computer, or search from something else and see where you're at there, But definitely, I really like what you're saying there about just a one page, or if you can get away with it,
The thing is, how many of you, in all honesty, click on another tab when you're on the website after you have found the information that you were looking for?
No, Alison,
unless you're ordering from somewhere like a distribution center where you've got to look for a product. After you find out what time, I'm going to use you, Cormac. After you find out what time the KFC closes, are you really interested in anything else? You've already found out, what the address is, what time of operation and everything, and the services that they offer. That's basically it. You have a really good, strong landing page, clean and simple. And to me, I just really don't care to surf around and see your back history and all that. It's nice if you have it, I guess. But if I want to know that, I'll probably go in your shop and have a conversation with you.
Right. It sounds pretty good, all these bits of advice, to be honest with you. I think we've got plenty coming in from the chat. So let's go through to the chat and have a look what's been said. Right, Facebook user is saying, hi all, watching you, but he's got Mars on as well. I'm presuming he's not eating a Mars bar or something like that. He's actually watching the Mars landing, what's going off at the moment. Fingers crossed, anyway. Let's have a look what else we got. So another Facebook user says they're going to make more effort using TikTok. I think that's something we need to have a look into as well, to be honest with you. It's something we've not even touched. But then again, it's quite hard to keep up with Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other ones. We're on LinkedIn as well now, which is quite popular and so forth. So sometimes trying to keep up with everything. Actually finding time to repair the computers can be the actual struggle these days, because you have to do so much other stuff in the process. Let's have a look. Okay, Richard Creed is saying, what's this TikTok? So he's not really used it. So another one. Also, David says again, never thought of using TikTok. So again, it looks like TikTok's a good thing for everyone to look into at the moment. It always seems to be in the news. Kids like it. So if you are wanting to obviously advertise to a younger audience, when I say younger, you're obviously the teenagers, the ones who want to be playing games and stuff like that, who want mummy and daddy to buy them a new computer or whatever, might be ideal. Let's have a look. And also Richard's saying he's not touched TikTok. won't let his 10-year-old near it. Well, obviously that's yours. I don't know what the rules are on age on that one, but most of social media is usually 16 or 18 or something. And Richard Overfield saying about the graphics card, saying he believes the 1660 Ti is being discontinued and the RTX 3060 will replace it. So I think the 1660 Ti probably is, but I think you struggle to get hold of one of those as well. But I have heard that NVIDIA are making some 1050 graphics cards again to bridge the gap. Yeah, it's quite an old graphics card, I must admit, but it might be ideal for low-end gaming. And even the prices of those at the moment are extortionate if you can get one. Let's have a look. We've got someone else mentioning about the graphics cards. We've heard NVIDIA earlier that 30 series will be tight for a good few months, but 16 series should free up over the coming weeks. So that's good, because 16 series is actually pretty good performance as long as you don't want RTX. They're pretty good cards. Let's have a look. A few people saying that they're having problems getting the Facebook apps and on iOS stuff is not working with that link. I'll have to have a look into that one later. You may just have to click the link once on a PC or something like that for it allow you to put your name into chat. Again, it's a Facebook limitation where they don't like you streaming information of people when you're in a group. Right. I'm guessing. Here we go. Let's have a look. What we've got next. We've got a question here saying, "Are we discussing right to repair?" This isn't really a right to repair topic, but if that's a topic you want to talk about and you want to be on a show, feel free to let me know, and we can do a show just about right to repair and so forth. Obviously, that's up to you. There we go. David's asking, here we go. I try and keep my website really simple. I'm not sure if that's wrong. What do you think of that, Marion? Do you think simple's better? I think we've already answered this one, but
yeah, 100%. Simple is better. I think. I think just so many people try to put too much stuff on there and to try and achieve too much with a website. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is get your customer to gauge an opinion, to form an opinion of you, and a positive one. And that is really, I think, the aim of a website. It's like a shop front, really, but a virtual one. You're trying to draw people in for the business. Ultimately, the best thing is to get them to contact you. And that is when you can really use your really good selling tactics, but, over the phone or by email. But making that first initial impression with a really good, simple website, I think is, for me, I think the best thing to do.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. It's like having a nice coat of paint on the front of your store. And you don't have too much clutter in your windows. If you have a lot of sale, it's on sale, it just kind of looks a real mess. And if you have the nice paint job and you keep the front swept and maybe one picture in the window, it just looks a lot better. So nice and tidy is the way I would go with it, just like a shop front.
I like what you were saying there about getting people to ring, because for our new website, now I haven't come up with the caption yet, but it's going to work something along the lines, bringing old-fashioned service to the tech world, as in we want you to ring us and we answer our phones, and that's going to be like ring us, we answer the phone. There's no call tree, there's no nothing, because there's no better person, salesperson than yourself anyway and stuff. But that's so much is my idea behind the new one is I want people to actually ring us. I actually, as you said, and I'm taking that tip of what you said there, that they're only on 6 seconds or something. I want them. I don't care if that's the only thing. Old-fashioned service, because every single one of us will have one complaint. If you have to ring up anyone, it's been put on call waiting, or it's just getting through to a phone tree, the whole lot. It just drives everyone insane. But and by the time you wait to 10 minutes to get through to someone, you're actually angry. Even if you're there to buy a product, you're nearly angry already. So I'm going to take your tip you were saying there. I'm going to have my website as in 6 seconds of the first page, and just ring us. And that old-fashioned service, that's it, the old-fashioned. And again, back to my local service, we're a local business. I don't like the way that sounds. We're a local business. We will answer our phone, but we'll come up with something nice on those ones. But that's a great tip you gave there earlier about 6 seconds. That. Now the other thing that I remembered rightly, and you might think if or wrongly, I remember when I done my social media course that, and someone in the chat might know the answer to this one as well, that when you were tagging photographs, and I might be able to make this in your website, that the Google reads the website as nearly a blind person would, as in to help your SEO. Is like, so if you have a picture of a laptop, if you're holding a laptop, I think it was better to word it like man holding a laptop, or in my case, very good looking man holding a laptop, or something along those lines. That was something I remembered anyway. That's what I'm doing on Squarespace anyway. I'm just tagging them all with descriptive terminology. I think now that could have been a dream as well, but I think that was something anyway.
No, I think that is correct. Yeah, you need to give them realistic names, I think, for multiple reasons. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I really don't delve deep into SEO or anything like that, really. That is not my my forte. I leave that up to people who know what they're doing with that. But I design the websites. But yeah, I know that there are some parts, alt tag, Alison's just said, yeah, alt tag. Yeah. But yeah, it's important to kind of give it a proper name, a decent name that someone will understand and that Google can use.
Alison was right.
Rather than picture 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Alison was right about something too, about the one page and something as well. She was right in one sense about the SEO side of that, especially for someone in her business as well. It all depends what I suppose you're trying to achieve as well,
Ultimately, I think the most important thing that I know from my experience is to make sure that your website's regularly updated. The more you keep it updated, the more regularly, the more likelihood you're going to work your way up Google. As I said, SEO is not my specialist subject. But yeah, there are tips and tricks. There are so many tools out there these days as well too. I mean, the thing is, that people that do kind of SEO and that type of stuff do charge a lot of money for what it is, really. And there are lots of tools, especially if you're using a platform like Wix or WordPress. There are a lot of plugins and things that can do a lot of that for people these days and save you a lot of time and a lot of money as well as a business owner. So yeah, but I mean, there are obviously things that you can do yourself to make it better and help, definitely. And with regards to what Alison said about the one-page web, yeah, as far as I believe I've got a few customers that I've done one-page websites from, and they are gradually working their way up Google. And again, it's just keeping the website updated. And just ticking those boxes, really.
You know what I do for every computer that we put in, because we're repairing computers. Again, I think this works, but again, it's worth a try anyway. What we do, so you'll do a fresh install of every computer. We leave a link to our website as an icon on the desk, across every computer is repaired. But because we're doing the refurbished laptops now, I'm searching for that website that I'm building or I've launched on the computer we just done the install on. So we'll say you're doing 5 of those computers a week. We'll say, I don't know, 25, 30 computers. They're all searches. They're all telling Google that someone is searching for this and finding your website and clicking on your website. So to me, it's kind of saying it's a search term that Google is looking for. And we're all repairing computers. We're on computers constantly anyway. So I'm just searching. I spend my days searching for myself. That's deep.
Another thing that impressed me with the Tech CPR website, other than its simplicity, was they had a map down at the bottom. And when I say a map, I don't mean a small little map. It was a map of Chesterfield with the crooked spire and all, and showing you what landmark is where. Obviously, it was probably Google. But they showed you exactly how to get to their store from any direction on that map, and it looked really nice down there at the bottom. And that's something is always helpful, is directions on how to
Yeah.
get to the store.
Mm.
I have something to add in on that one as well. Is on websites. I look at everyone's website who joins Tech for Techs, because everyone has to put it in for the rules basically, and I would say around about 30%,
Yes, that's
especially
it.
especially home techs and stuff like that, who deal mainly on the mobile phone, don't put down where they're based. So you go on the
Yeah.
website and all it's got is the mobile phone number, and it's like, but yeah, where are you? Sort of thing. It's so if people do stumble across your website, they don't know exactly where you are, and obviously if you've got your location in there, written in there, that's going to help your search engine optimization as well, so people can find you.
And for those of
Regarding,
you that have been hearing me brag about Tech CPR, they've just put their website up there, and you can click on it and see what a lovely website they have. It's absolutely fabulous. I
yeah,
can't say enough positive things about it.
yeah, Tech CPR's website is a good website, I must admit. There are a lot of good
It's
ones
an
out there, I must admit.
eye-popping but simple website.
Mhm. Right, moving on to the next question about blogs. Um, so basically, it's asked, well, it's more of a statement than anything. If you keep it interesting, it keeps people coming back. What we found worked better with blogs is, rather than publishing them on your own website, is get your local newspaper or even radio station to publish them with a link back to your website. That creates what's called a backlink. So from a popular website or wherever, backlinks to yours, it actually boosts your website, and then you can share that post to people on Facebook or whatever. So not only are you giving the newspaper content which they want. We've done this in the past when we first opened the store to get our name around. We used to publish it to the Derbyshire Times, and every week they'd have a new one in. Unfortunately, we found out they actually shared it between the other companies, which were all the way over in Hull and Scotland and stuff. So there was people getting linked to our website from obviously outside of our catchment area, but still it increased our website standing from being down there to up there, basically. So something for you to think about is, it's not always about putting the content on your website. If you can put content elsewhere and get people to come to you from that content, that's ideal. And obviously the more people you get on your website, again, it boosts you up a bit as well. So blogs can be useful. I don't recommend, though, and I've seen a lot of people say this, is copy and pasting blogs, because the way Google works, to my knowledge, if it picks up the same content on multiple websites, it'll just disregard it.
You also have to be careful with blogs on opinion, because you're subject to putting your opinion out there. And your opinion, we all know about those and everything. It may be popular with one crowd, but it may not be within another. And you don't want to put a customer off just because they don't share your opinion.
Yeah, that's true. We've also got a message from Raheem. Is saying that YouTube is amazing for search engine optimization. It can be, because YouTube, not a lot of people actually know, but YouTube is owned by Google. And when you're creating content on YouTube and putting it on there, you're putting tags in and so forth. So if you're putting your location and stuff, when people do a search on Google, not only does it come with your website at the top, but also comes up with your videos, and especially if you include topics about what you're doing and so forth, like how to repair a computer, and put in, for example, where we are, Chesterfield, and then obviously people will see a video on Google and YouTube if they search for Chesterfield computer repair and stuff like that. So YouTube, yeah, I must agree on that one. YouTube is amazing for search engine optimization. Let's have a look. Alison Cook. She says it needs to be fast. If you don't know who Alison Cook is, she's from EADR, East Anglian Data Recovery, and she's actually going to be on the show in a couple of weeks' time, telling us about data recovery and stuff like that with her partner Steve. So that should be an interesting show. So she's quite active, as you can see. Right, let's see what we've got. Yeah, I must agree with Facebook user. I still see websites that are not mobile friendly. I must have. I agree with that. And even some websites you go on look like they were made in 1990. For a tech company to have a website what looks like something which, well, isn't modern, isn't going to reinsure me too much, to be honest with you. It's going to put me off using you. And again, I see all your websites and yeah, some of them are pretty bad, I must admit. It does look like something what probably I designed when I was at school, and that was a good few years ago now.
Yeah.
So they even got the animated little things going across the screen and stuff like that.
That
It's
annoys me so bad to see those animated things. I really
uh,
hate that. I don't know why. I'm sure that some people think it's cute and everything, but I really hate animated things on the website.
yeah.
No.
I don't know if you guys remember Hamster Dance from a good few years ago, which was basically a bit like a GIF of the hamsters
Oh
dancing. I
God.
went on one the other day and they got that in the middle of the screen. I don't know how it was supposed to relate to what they do or how it was supposed to attract people to the website. I don't think people would necessarily think that was pretty cute or cool these days, to be honest, because it did look a little bit dated. It looked pretty
It,
cool in the day, but
but
not
how does
25
it
years later.
relate to computer repair? You see,
Exactly.
I want to have things that relate to computer repair on there. I don't want to be known as the Joker or anything like that. I want to be known as the lady that builds your gaming rig right instead of the one that has the best jokes around. Okay, I can't do both. I'd rather excel in building the best gaming rig that you could possibly buy. That's where I excel.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes people put whatever they want on the websites. I've even seen people sort of on about the baking skills and stuff like that. What's that got to do with you repairing a computer on your web? I can understand maybe on somehow tying it in, but if you were making a cake and it looked like a computer, yeah, way. But not making cupcakes for your family.
No.
Um, Richard Creedy is saying, he says when he feels up to it, he'll be redesigning. Here's his website. Yeah, it's one of those things is you've got to think about. It's obviously with redesigning your website or making a new website is, do you want to do it yourself or get someone else to do it? Obviously, if you get someone else to do it, and obviously there's someone like Marianne, we know there's Ian's in the group, and there's a few other different people who do website design. The question is what do we always tell customers when they try and build or repair their own computers? You should get an expert to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
should
have
you
a
be making
question.
your own?
I have a question about that, and I like
Yeah.
the chat might be able to answer that because my problem with my own website, Cross Haven Computers, now it's looking dated. It needs to go, all right, and I want to change it over maybe to Squares. My problem is losing the SEO. That is my problem in the sense that I have to import it somehow or do some redirection. I don't have the skills, so I'm going to have to employ someone to do that, if you understand what I'm saying. And say that could be a lot of people's issue. If you tear down your website and you put up another one up, I don't know what happens then,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. I think a lot of it has to do with the linking, so you have to make sure the page names are roughly the same when you redesign it. So obviously, if you've got a page what says, I don't know, Crosshaven Computers /repair on your old system, when you make your repair page, you need to make sure it's the same address and so forth. But we'll have to do a show just on find some SEO expert and just do
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Maybe team up with someone like Marion as well, do a joint thing or something along that lines.
I mean, even the Chips website. When we first did it, I thought, "Oh my God, wow, this is a great website," and it was. It really was. Phil did a great job on it. Uh, his talents were endless on it, but it needs a good update. It's time to update. It's a few years out. But when he did it, it was the end beyond end thing to have. It gets us what we want, but could it be better? Yeah, it could be better. I looked at it with a fresh set of eyes today, and I said, we've got to look at getting this overhauled.
That's our retail store, not the Tech for Tech's page.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
agree. It does need doing. It's one of those things. It might look really good in 2017, but 4 years later, in computer terms, that's a long time, and it does look a little dated. Just out of curiosity, obviously you don't have to give us your prices, Marianne, but what sort of prices are people usually looking at for a website these days? Because I think some people might actually be shocked what sort of prices. Let's just say a one-page website or a five-page. What sort of prices would you normally be looking at for something like that?
I've heard people charging a lot more than I do. I mean, I think I think I'm pretty cheap, and I'm probably undercharging, and I don't want everyone to rush. Quite busy as it is, but I know that from other people kind of locally, you could be looking for a 5-page website. I know companies local to me are charging in the region of 2.5 to 3 grand for websites, a lot of the time the bigger companies that are like agencies, I know that they do the SEO as well. So I suppose in a way, because I don't generally do SEO to a certain, to a high level, that's why I probably get away with charging a little bit less. But I am, well, I say a little bit less, I probably charge quite a lot less than that. But yeah, I think the website prices, I think, are coming down a lot. I think because people are more likely these days to do it themselves, because there are so many ways to do it. With Wix and WordPress, it is easy for someone who doesn't know what they're doing to create a website, and we've seen it. I mean, there was a news report quite a couple of days ago, I think it was yesterday or something, saying that Wix, they'd put in their fourth quarter accounts, and they'd made something like I forget what it was, like 38% increase in profits or something year over year, just from, and I believe it's all down to this lockdown, as everyone's gone, oh, let's start a business. Let's not get someone to do the website, let's do it ourselves, and so companies like Wix and WordPress are probably seeing quite a rise in users doing it themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I really don't. It's I suppose in a way, and I see it as well with the repairs and stuff, is that, yes, okay, we hate when people try to do it themselves and they make a mistake, but actually it works out well for us, because it ends up meaning they come to us. I've had that recently with quite a few customers. They've tried to do repairs on the computers, they've done something wrong, and they've brought it to me. Money's there, and the same with people who've tried to do their own website, and it's maybe not been as successful as they thought it was, or not as easy as they thought it was, or it's that one niggly thing or that one niggly picture which won't go in the right place, which I hear a lot of with kind of a few of my clients. They've gone, oh, I've created this website myself, but I can't get this picture to go where I want it to. It just won't work, And sometimes it's a fairly simple thing for me to do. Sometimes it's a bit of actual coding that I need to do, But so ultimately, it's kind of, let people have a go. I don't mind.
I bet you have that cringe that I do when they say, oh, I can't get my website to work, I've been fiddling about with it. I bet you get the same cringe that I do when they say, I can't get my computer to work, I've taken this out and the other, and I'm thinking, oh God, please, no.
When I turn around and I say, so who do you host your website? And they go, hosting? And it's like,
Mine is, oh, I googled it, or I watched YouTube and I've tried to fix it, and I'm thinking, oh, I wish you'd just brought it to me to begin with and just put it on my desk and let me work with it, because it would have probably been a 5-minute job had you not pulled the RAM out and put it on a static surface.
Right. Sorry to interrupt. I think Cormac may have to go in a few
Yeah.
minutes. So before, there you go. I was going to say, have you got anything you want to say before you get going, Cormac?
No, and the reason I'm going, lads and lassies, is that I'm in work till 7. I need to eat. I really do. No, I tell you what, very interesting. Got some lovely tips, and thank you very much for being brave enough to come on. Marianne, wasn't that scary, was it?
No.
So I'm saying this to encourage the other people to come on, So we'll be seeing you again over the next few weeks, I'd imagine. We will, no, actually, you know what? It was very good. It was, and as you were talking about your own website, I think we're all guilty of that. We get so busy that we forget about our own websites to look after that, So a lot of people put their websites up in the chat. So I'm certainly going to go in there after I finish having dinner. I'm going to go in there and have a look at people's websites and not obviously steal anyone's ideas or content or anything, but get a feel of what's good out there, Yeah, so this is a great topic for a show. It really was, as in we I think everyone learned something tonight. Now I must go for dinner, folks. Lovely to meet you all right?
Enjoy your fried chicken.
Good luck to you. Bye.
See you later, Cormac.
Bye.
Right, okay, let's carry on with the show. If you have to go at any point, Marianne, just let us know, because we have got quite a few questions in here as well. So we can always catch up on them another time or answer them in chat afterwards. Let's have a look. Where are we? So next one was, I put a banner up about COVID, as many was asking for, if I was still open, basically. After we put the banner up, it stopped. We've had that as well. To be honest, we've put the message on the website and tried to make it as obvious as possible, but I'd still say 90% of the calls we're getting at the moment, are you open? And I swear some of them are the same people who asked the day before, to be honest with you. It's probably the same people who leave an answer machine message when we say we're closed on the message on the answer machine, and then they expect you to call them back in 5 minutes.
I feel like I need to address the COVID banner. I didn't mean that you were closed due to COVID. I mean, that's one thing. But these COVID banners that I was seeing was the hand space all over the place. The common sense things that we're seeing in the news anyway, for shops that were closed. So it was unnecessary that they put it there. If you're closed, why would you need hand space and articles flowing? I mean, I kid you not. Articles flowing about improvements in vaccinations and stuff like that. That's not your forte. Your forte is computers. You don't need all of that. All you need is we're either open or we're closed. The rest of it, you don't need it.
Sometimes we go a bit too much in depth.
Yeah, I think keeping a website relevant to you've got one point, and that point is to try and sell your service. So keep it at that and leave it at that. No cat pictures or talking about cupcakes or injections and COVID and stuff. But yeah, it's keeping it relevant and and being precise about it. Your website is as I said, it's like the front of your shop, really. A lot of people, with obviously the rise of social media, a lot of people do get a lot of business these days, obviously from social media, Facebook and stuff. And people use websites still as a way of checking a company's credibility. So if you've got a website that's you're advertising on your Facebook page or your Twitter, then that's the most important thing, is making it able to grab their attention within a very short frame of time.
That's true.
Yeah. You're grabbing people's attention. Also, one of the things I found what benefits us, I know Jen doesn't like it, but is having a picture on our website. You'd be surprised how many customers we get what call us and says, "Oh, we called you because you look like normal people." What they expected us to look like otherwise, I don't know. I wouldn't really class myself as normal looking, but they for some reason they get that sort of they get to know you before they actually come in, and they know who they're dealing with. So it puts their mind at ease that they're not going to be dealing with, I don't know, a robot or an alien or something along
I wish
that
they would
lines.
tell me that I look normal and stuff like that. I'd say, you just haven't been around me long enough. No, seriously.
No, I think that's a really good point. I think that's the thing is making it's human. I don't even know. I'm probably going to make up a word here. Humanitizing, making a business look like it's actual people behind it. And not just a blank face. And I think that's one of the things that I attempted to do when I started out on my own. I was trying to come up with a name, and I was like, what am I going to call myself? And I wanted to be that kind of approachable person that I've always been throughout all of my roles in IT. I've always been the go-to girl for tech, and I was like, well, I just call myself Tech Girl, and I hope that makes me more approachable.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a bit cheesy. I was originally thinking like a, superhero, that kind of thing, but I've tried to tone it down a little bit now. But it's that's what it is. And I think the website also needs to mirror that, is that we're all people, and I think making it a friendly, making IT and people within IT more approachable, because I know that there is some kind of stigma still about, we're just people that sit in dark rooms staring at a computer all day. We're not, we're humans too,
What Phil doesn't tell you about pictures, what Phil doesn't tell you is he will pick the worst photo ever of you and stick it up there for about 4 years. And it's one where you've been in a boiling hot reception room to get an award. And all your makeup has sweated off your face. Your hair is drenched in perspiration. And you're standing there trying to put on a fake smile for the press. And I kid you not, that's what's happening on our website. And get a nice picture if you're going to put one up. Get it even professionally done if you want to. But Phil decided he would throw that one up there and make it stick.
I saw a comment earlier, actually, someone saying about photos and like in a general sense, and I think you've touched on a really important point there, is that photos are really a lot what makes a website these days, to be honest, in good quality photos. I know the way that I work, I've had customers come to me and say, I want a website, and I said, okay, you need to get the content ready. Have you got photos, of your products, or just kind of photos of what you do? And they'll say, no, and I'll say, well, invest in getting decent photos, because for me, I know that draws me into a website, but also it helps me as a web designer. I tend to work kind of very organically, in the sense that I'll look at the pictures and what I've got and then build the website around that, because so many people are visual these days, and I think that it's that visual appeal which grabs people's attention, so yeah, but spend out on decent photos.
Well, if you were going to buy clothes, would you go and buy from someone that had a drawing of a dress or a pair of slacks if you're a man? Or would you go to someone that had a professional picture of a model wearing what you wanted to buy? It's the same difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how many people I've seen, again, pictures on the website, and the pictures, you could smell the store from the pictures, because it looked so bad. It looks like the floor's greasy. They've got pizza boxes in the bin next to the counter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really promote your business. Well,
It
the
looks
pizza
like
might
you
be
would have to
nice.
peel your feet off the floor as you walked
Yeah.
along.
So try and get, if you are going to take some pictures, try and get them done at least semi-professional, and clean what you're going to take pictures of first, because I have seen real questionable pictures out there. Right, let's have a quick.
Don't take the picture on delivery day when the UPS has stacked parcels up a mile high.
That's it. There's a reason why mobile phones only cost a couple £100 and professional cameras cost a few £1,000.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, in the wrong hands, the professional camera can be just as bad. But again, it's always good to get professional things. One thing regarding pictures on website, Macaulay says, don't forget to put your face masks on the pictures to fit with the time. I think it was more of a joke.
I'm all for
that.
that.
Regarding policies, I think Jen mentioned, yes, you do have to have terms and conditions on your website, but when there's that many terms and conditions on there, you could fit them onto one page or put them on sub-pages on one page, rather than having 5 big links on your web page. Terms and conditions. You put up red warning signs as soon as you see terms and conditions before you see anything else, because you're thinking, well, if they're putting terms and conditions up,
they've got a
all the
lot of
time,
complaints, is what it says
yeah.
to me.
So
and it's like, it's like they're saying, oh, well, if you had read the terms and conditions on our website, you'd know this. You know, so that tells me they've had a lot of complaints about this, that, and the other. You know, it may not be so, but that's what the signal is that you're sending out. And after all, it's like we said before, this is your chance to make a really good first impression. And if you don't, there's other people out there in the business that can do just as good a job as you, if not better.
Yeah, that's true. We are trying to get through as many questions as we can. I can see a few of you are re-asking them. We are really struggling to keep up with them. We've had 170 comments and questions come in. I'm up to the questions.
That's got to be a record right there.
So I don't think we're going to get a chance to go through them all, so I'm going to skim. But we're going to have another show, I think, regarding this subject. Probably get an SEO expert in as well, probably. I don't know if you know anyone, Marion. They don't have to be in the group or whatever. You can let me know after the show, and then we can always do a show with them, and it might
well,
benefit.
Hey, we got an award. I reached 100 messages today.
Yeah, that beaming on that one has. So we got quite a few. Let's have a look. Could I share mine for comments from David? I'm presuming he means you want to share your website and not your wife or something like that. But if you want to share your website, feel free. People can comment and so forth. We don't mind tech for techs. If you want to put pictures of your store and you'll want to think of ways to improve it all the way down to your website, that's why we're here. We're here to help each other and help each other grow and work with, obviously, techs, vendors, and distributors.
Just one. Sorry. Just one thing. If you want to share your website for comments, please do so post it on this this link right here, within the group, and not spamming the group with different websites to be reviewed.
Yeah, rather do it, pin it to one or pin it in here. I'm not going to look at them on here because obviously I don't know what links I'm going to be clicking on, and you may be linking something very risque, should we say. So that might be something for another show. Let's have a look. Raheem says he doesn't have a website and he's busy. You don't have to have a website, but I think it's one of those first things what people look for these days. Obviously, if you're able to get customers from, I don't know, social media or whatever, well, hey, but a lot of people may not use you if you don't have a website, especially businesses and stuff like that. But you might get away if you're doing, I don't know, home repairs or something like that, just to being on Facebook. One question from Alison, SEO. Does it perform as well on one page than it would on multiple? That's a good question, and I'm not sure. I don't know if you've got any insight on that, Marianne, or...
I did kind of cover it earlier. Yeah, I think mostly it's it helps with ensuring that it's regularly updated. And from what I've seen, I've not had any issues with one-page websites. I mean, they still have a navigation bar at the top, so and they actually link to points below on that one page, so you still got all of the links. But yeah, no, I mean, as I said, SEO is not my given subject, so but I've not had any complaints from customers, and I've seen that at least a few of my customers who've used the one-page web have successfully, managed to make it onto Google and getting up within the searches. So
There's a few questions about SEO. I'm just going to skip a few more of those because
we don't have an
everything's going on.
SEO expert tonight.
Yeah,
We'll do that another time. Remind me in group, and I'll see what I can get going for you.
that's fine. Someone's also posted a link, ping zone, which will basically tell you how quick your website responds. I've seen, I think, a few of them like that. I think Google's got their own and so forth. It just shows you how responsive it is on mobile, as well as I've used that myself in the past. So yeah, it's always good to check for tools like that. It gives you a real idea, because you may be using internet speeds of 300 megabytes per second. So it doesn't matter how slow your website is, it's going to open up fast. But the average person's probably only on 2, 3, 4 megs possibly in your area. It's going to probably take a good lot longer to actually load up. Do you have any other tools you use like that, Marianne, or do you just leave that to the SEO?
I use Google quite a lot for that in terms of their dashboard for that. I know that you need to be keeping it under about 2 seconds load time, and obviously, you know, we're talking about having nice pictures and all of this and everything, which is obviously going to impact on that. That goes back to the tip that I gave earlier with regards to the tinyjpg.com. You know, optimizing those pictures. It's a brilliant site. Just upload literally all of your pictures. I think you can do like 20 maximum at one time. So upload them all in bulk, and then optimize them, and it keeps the quality of them, but whilst also making them you know, much smaller, especially if you're getting full quality pictures from a photographer.
And lesser impact on load.
Yeah,
You don't need a 50 megapixel picture on your website when it's only going to be that big. So yeah, so reducing the size is
good advice.
let's have a look. Facebook user said had another local company basically copy all his content, and he had to send a cease and desist order. So yeah, obviously there's not much you can do regarding that. The problem is obviously if they've copied your stuff, it's probably going to affect your SEO as well, I would have thought, because then they've both got the same content, so Google might not see it. So I hope you managed to sort that out. Kevin Price says Google will penalize you for not being mobile friendly. Yeah, and it'll tells you that on a lot of those SEO tools. It will tell you that. So make sure you get as high a score as possible. Otherwise, if it's low, you will have a few issues. Let's have a look. Richard Creedy says, mine is dated. I use a template and redid some of the code to make it work for me. So yeah, again, there is no right and wrongs, well, to a certain degree. If it works for you, then you ain't got a problem. If you're getting 100 customers coming a day from your website, doesn't matter how bad it is. If it does look like something from 1995 or something like that, then and people coming in, well, hey, they might like the retro feel. Bear in mind, we do have a retro show coming up in a few weeks as well, for those who are interested.
Yeah, we do.
So, also, let's have a look. This one is from Eurosoft. Animation option. They agree with Jenny. Getting that balance of attraction and action is a tough one. Also, still hauling out repetitive content is important and so forth. Google dislikes it for sure. So yeah, we do have a local competitor to ours who's got, I'd say they've probably got 10 or 15 blogs on the webpage, and they share the same blogs over and over. So one day it'll be this one, the next day. So and they've been doing it for about 5 years. So I think that I haven't seen anyone like on any of the content they've put out. I think it's doing a more negative than positive, in all honesty. And one thing for blogs, a lot of people, they'll try and make it more of a selling thing, make it more of an advice thing. So it looks like you're actually giving people advice rather than actually getting them to pay for a service or something along that lines.
I've got to disagree. I don't want to give advice, because if I give too in-depth of advice and it goes wrong for them, it's going to be, well, you told me on your website this is what I should do. So I will say, when you give advice, keep it simple, like bring it into your local repairman. Don't try this at home, keep security on your computer, things like that. Not trying to tell how to repair a computer.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning by saying how to repair a machine. It was more of a generalization. So make sure you keep your computer clean, or the advantages of having it cleaned and stuff like that. Not necessarily tell the customer how to take the bottom off and clean the fan out and then electrocute them in the process. Because a lot of customers, in all honesty, they don't listen to what you tell them. We had one the other day. They spilled white wine all over the laptop, and we says, whatever you do not connect the power cable to it, because it'll probably be all right if there's no power goes to it. So what do they do? As soon as we hang up, put the power cable in, and then it goes pop.
And then they want to know why I can't fix it. And I said, it appears, and I can't tell for sure, but it appears someone turned it on when it was wet. I said, and as you know, water and electricity, they just don't mix. Surprise.
Facebook user says we were quoted $18K to redo our website and £300 a month for maintenance. I think someone starts needs to charge in a little bit more by the looks of it.
Yeah, I need to definitely charge more.
All I can say is it must be a real mess. to warrant $18K, it must be a real mess.
But then again, there are places, obviously, which will charge hell of a lot more, and sometimes the quality, you don't get that extra quality from it from that price. But again, it's always best shop around, have a look at what they've done in the past. Richard Creedy says his wife did the design and he did the coding by the looks of it. So that's good if you can team up, work together. But obviously, things like this, you can spend a lot of time on it. Sometimes it's easy just to get someone to do it for you, because if you could have prepared 100 computers in the time you've spent messing around with your website, and you would have made more money than it's cost you to get it made. So let's have a look. Let's have a quick chuck through. Let's have a look.
There you go. That's the reason. Then is they drove those nice cars. They have to pay for those nice cars. That's why they're charging you so much.
That's it. We've got a lot of replies to each other. So I think we're getting. Oh, here we go. Another one from Alison. We get a lot of people ask for us by name when they ring because they've checked out the website. So so it gives people that personal touch, the personal feel. It makes you feel like you're part of the community and so forth, especially if you're a local store, because obviously people will actually see you out and about as well and go, oh, it's the guy at the computer shop. They might not remember your name, but they generally remember your face.
We can't go to Tesco without someone seeing us and knowing who we are. I'm serious. And they'll go over to us on the milk aisle. Oh, you made a computer for me? Just want you to know it's running great. And I'm like, who are you? Who are you?
Right, we've still got quite a few more questions. I'm not going to go through them all now because otherwise we're going to be here all night, the speed they're coming in. Just on Facebook alone, we've had 106, and that's just in the group, not including the page, YouTube, and so forth. But one thing, what's common these days, and I want to ask Marianne's opinion on this one, is chatbots. So obviously you have the little chat window at the bottom of the screen, what pops up and says, how are you doing? Do you want to buy this or do whatever? Do you think they work, or do you find there can be a negative, or is it just depends on how you set it up?
I mean, I recently put one on my website actually, because I was on my own website. Now I don't now before I say anything, I don't actually get a chance to do my own website. I spend so much time on other people's that my website needs some serious work. So yeah, no judgments on that one. But I recently added it on there, and it was actually it wasn't necessarily a chatbot. It was actually the opportunity to send me a message direct. And personally, I thought that was a really good thing, because I thought that it would then, again, coming back to that, making, it's humanizing the business, Tech Girl as a business, and making it kind of like, look, you can actually speak to me if you've got a problem, and giving more of a being able to be more approachable and are able to be contacted on a regular basis. But I have clients who have them, and mixed reviews, to be honest, very much mixed reviews. Some people find it really annoying, and some
I don't like the one on Argos where the little woman. I mean, immediately when you go into Argos, that little woman, she pops up. How can I help you? And I'm like, love, just leave me alone. Let me shop here. That just really ticks me off.
Yeah, I mean, I personally find them really annoying.
So I think they have their place as long as they're not, ping, ping, ping. If it's just a message thing that you're using for them to contact you on, well then, hey ho, that's great. But the constant annoying in the corner popping up, like, I'm sorry, Argos, you lost me on that one. I just can't be dealing with it. I'll go somewhere else.
Chatbot's a bit mixed for me. Some websites, I think like sales websites, that can be a bit of a pain. But if you're on a certain website, let's just say the service I use for the streaming, which is called Restream, anyone can sign up for it if they want to. And if I've got any questions, rather than having to email them and then wait for a reply, have they got it? Basically, the chatbot, you just put something, a question in there. Okay, we'll ask you a few things, or you're having an issue with this, that, and the other, and then it'll take your website. But if you just type in what you want to ask them, within 5 minutes you've got a reply then and there, and you can have a full conversation with them and say, hey, my Facebook people's names aren't popping up on the chat or whatever, can you sort it out, or something like that. For example, they gave me this link which will allow people to actually have their names displayed and so forth if they click the link. Obviously, there might be a few glitches using it on different, possibly web browsers or possibly phones, tablets, or whatever. But in general, once you've accepted it on the PC, so if you're going to Google Chrome or Edge, and you've clicked that link, it should remember it for your account. So then it should remember the next time we go live and you won't have to do it again. But I think they can be good. But then, as you said, when you go on some websites like Supermarket or Argos or whatever, and it's popping up every 5 seconds, oh, we've got an offer on corned beef today. We've got an offer on drumsticks or whatever it is, and it can get a little bit annoying. So, yes.
Even how may I help you 10 times in the course of 5 minutes is annoying. I mean, they may be seeing themselves as being helpful and approachable and everything, but a lot of people like myself just want to get in there, dig in, shop, and if they have a question, then they will come to you over here and say, I need to submit a question.
I think it's good if you tie it into a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it? For example, like PC Surgeon saying that Facebook provides a chat feature for sites automatically. So obviously, someone sends you a message using the chatbot on your website, it comes up on your phone or whatever. So even if you're mobile, you've got a notification and you can reply to it just like you would any other message. But again, I think it's just done right. It's one of those things, if you set it up and then you never check your messages, there's going to be a lot of annoyed people. So, again, it probably depends on your website as well, how the Facebook the chat box work as well. If you're using Wix, and a lot of these pre-built websites, so they have the tools in where you just tick a box, put your email address in or your Facebook name, and it does it automatically. And where there's some, obviously, if you're using WordPress, it could be a little bit more difficult. Or if you're going a completely different down coding it yourself, that's something else. Right, before we end the show, is there anything either of you two would like to add? Because we're getting up to about an hour and a half now, so Cormac's probably going, God, they're going on forever or whatever. But I think we could with all the questions we've had tonight. But right, so have you got any final thoughts, Jen?
Just keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it, nice and eye friendly. No extravagant colors, and when I say extravagant colors, I mean like neons and things like that, because they can have effects on people with disabilities and things like that. You don't want that. So your primary colors, I would say, are the best ones to stick to.
Yeah. What about yourself, Marianne? Have you got any tips, advice before we call it a night?
Agree with Jenny there. Just keep it simple. Try and avoid jargon. I think as techs, it's quite easy for us to just break into oh, this does this, and the big words, but ultimately your customers won't always know that. So avoiding as much jargon as possible. And yeah, as I said, consistency, just keep it simple and consistent throughout. And yeah, don't try to do too much with it. Just try and keep it just easy and eye-catching, and like think of it like your shop front, and keep it clean, keep it tidy, keep it updated, and I think you'll be well away, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things of making sure that the customer has an excellent experience and it's just not way out there or looks a bit too dated or whatever. So
Or overwhelming.
yeah, exactly. You don't want it to make it look like Las Vegas, do you? Sort of thing.
No.
It's really good for people. Sorry, well, unless you've got a casino, but I don't think there'll be many people in the chat who have got a casino. But I may be wrong. No doubt.
And we
someone will-
want to thank Marianne for being on here tonight and helping us in the show. She's
Mhm.
given a lot of insight that I'm going to take away and have a chat with you about later. So
Well,
Oh,
thank
dear.
you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's really nice. So
Right, no
people will
problem.
see my face over now and know who I am.
They know who you are. If they've got any questions, if you're in the Tech for Tech Facebook group, Marianne's in the group. So just if you're not sure who it is, just say he's the website expert who was on the chat the other night on, and I'll link her in and so forth. So yeah, I would like to thank Jennifer, also Cormac, who's done a runner. He's gone for his chicken fry up, I think, and Marianne as well for joining today. If you are an independent trader, store owner, MSP, tech, vendor, or distributor, you can find out more information about Tech for Techs at techfortechs.co.uk. You can join Tech for Techs if you wish to. You just go to techfortechs.co.uk/join, and it will tell you information about how to join the Tech for Techs group. Now, when you do click that link, it will ask you some questions. If you do not answer those questions, we'll not let you in. So make sure you do fill those questions in. We've got over 1,100 members just like you that can give you free business advice, free tech advice, and did I say it's totally free with no membership fees for you? We're not like a lot of the networking groups out there which will charge you, or you have to be a certain size. If you're a tech, so you work for obviously the local computer repair shop, if you're the store owner, if you're a vendor, so let's just say you worked for VIP or Target or CMS or any of those other guys out there, you're welcome as well. So
it
vendors,
can even be a
tech,
call out service.
yeah, MSPs as well. So you're all welcome. We don't charge. So it's as simple as that. And if you're not sure what the website address is, we'll put it on there for you on the screen. It's good when you've got technology, what can help you. So, right. So otherwise, thank you for watching and thanks for supporting local independent businesses. Good night, everyone.